I'm Carole Taylor. On this edition of Journal, we take a look at a real-life story behind the cold data on retail crime in British Columbia. The statistics are grim. A report released recently by the Canadian Federation of Small Business states that BC small businesses experienced a 27% increase in crime just in the past year, and that is above the national average. 8 in 10 small business owners fear for their own safety and that of their staff and their customers. 52% of businesses surveyed by the Save Our Streets Coalition believe that these retail crimes, such as petty theft and shoplifting, increase the cost to consumers, and that means for all of us. So those are some of the numbers, but what is it like day to day being in a small business in such a climate? Heaven knows that small businesses have a hard enough time making ends meet in the best of times. But what is it like today when you may come into work in the morning to find broken windows again, or another smash and grab robbery? Caren McSherry is the inspiration and founder of the Gourmet warehouse located in East Vancouver. A chef herself, she felt there was a need for a unique specialty food and housewares emporium. And so in 1998, Caren built it, and boy, did the foodies of the world flock to her shop. But things have changed dramatically in the last few years, to the extent that she has started to muse aloud about how long she can keep going. Too much theft, too much damage, too many threats. We'll be back with Caren McSherry's story in just a moment. Caren McSherry's story is one that tugs at your heart, and you like to think it's not happening in Vancouver or British Columbia, but it is, and it's about retail crime. Thank you for coming, Caren. You and I have known each other for many, many years.
Many years.
I shop at Gourmet Warehouse all the time.
And we still have that chocolate tart recipe that you donated and came on Global to do with me.
Yeah, we actually made that a number of years ago. But it's really sad to think about what's going on these days. Tell me in kind of detail the sort of thing you're dealing with day to day in your shop.
Day to day, first of all, let me just preface it by saying I'm born and raised in this city. I went to Templeton High School, so that hood is the hood I know, and it was primarily Italian, lots of gardens in the back. Everything was safe. You walked to school, there was nothing. It was safe as could be, and a punishment was, stealing a chocolate bar from the grocery store. And now the punishment has escalated to $5,000 worth of goods walking out the door with nothing going on. I've been there since in that space on Hastings and Clark since '04, and it was okay then, and I actually saw it clean up and do better. And since then, since all of this, open drug use and no crime for punishment, it has just gone completely in the opposite direction. I try really hard to be positive because I want to be, because I've invested my entire life in that business, trying to be the best there is. We're the largest gourmet culinary store in Western Canada and the longest running private cooking school in Canada. So it's something that I'm proud of because I've spent my life building it. And now I'm watching as all these things go sideways, where a dude can just walk down the street with the rock and just bang, middle of the day, and just walk on and give us the bird and, see you later. And they come in regularly, so much so that I've had to engage in full-time security, which helps because it's really important that I maintain my customers and the wherewithal of safety for my employees.
So give me a couple of examples of the sort of damage or threats that you've seen in your store.
Well, they come in, they're very clever. If they only would use that sense of knowledge to do something better. They know when the security guard goes on his break and his lunch, and that's when they come in. They'll come in threes, and not always homeless. They'll be decent, like you would never guess, and they'll come in a three, and then they'll go in to find, they know what they're looking for. Like one guy came in and they eat three of them, and they each walked out with a Vitamix. Like, how does that happen? And Vitamixes are $900 to $1,000 a piece. So they know what they want. It's like they're filling orders. It's very frightening. Those aren't the ones that are scary. It is actually the challenges of the homeless and the drug addicted that is a little bit more scary. And we try to get them out without harming our reputation to our customers, which is primary.
Can you give me an example?
Okay, so 3 weeks ago, just before Thanksgiving, we had all these beautiful Le Creuset roasters on display. It was a big sale, and a guy came in, and I don't know, he started ranting and raving, and we said, you're going to have to leave. You know, we don't really have anything for you. And he was standing at the display, and he took his arm, and he just went like that, and he just swept them all off the display, and the crashing and the smashing. And then, you know, ensuing expletives to us, and we got them out. But therein lies $4,000 worth of broken goods. Insurance doesn't cover any of that. They're done, and you can't keep calling them. The broken window scenario, as in a lot of my business associates, they don't call anymore, because if you call twice, your insurance is null and void.
I was wondering about insurance because I see repeated windows broken and look at Robson Street or wherever. And how do you get insurance for that?
You don't. So you have to sort of assess your losses. So we've had two, and then we just repair them ourselves. I have the shutters, the metal shutters that roll down, but I've had those for many, many, many years. I knew in my first year of being there that this wasn't actually the best neighborhood. When I went to get my business license from City Hall, he said, you actually look like a clean-cut lady. He said, why are you going there? Do you know that's don't do it. And I went, it's kind of a little late, and it's all I can afford, so I'm in, dude. I'm in. And I said, and I'm going to do my best to make it better, because I'm going to clean up that neighborhood. And I did so much so that the Georgia Straight did a whole story about 20 years ago saying, somebody here just did her best to clean up the hood. And they put me on the front page of the Georgia Straight telling the story. And then since then, it's sort of been a downhill slide.
And so you say, even in the daytime, somebody walks
every day
down the street and throws a rock through
the
window?
the rock isn't every day. I've had two in the span of about 4 months apart. But every day, the entry into the store where they just walk in, and you can tell it's not rocket science to figure out that these people aren't coming in to buy anything. They're in to steal. So in that vein, we just say we have nothing for you, and we try to guide them out the door without incident. It's the incident I want to avoid, because then if you're shopping and you're like, oh my goodness, like what's going on? It diminishes your confidence, and that's what I don't want, because I employ 70 people. If I'm not there, 70 people don't have a job. So it's up to me to ensure the safety of everybody that works for me as well as my customers.
So what a variety of complicated problems you're dealing with, and some of it, of course, is mental illness.
It is.
You mentioned a guy had a garbage bag on.
And he had nothing underneath. He came in, took the garbage bag off for viewing purposes. Oh, anyways, we got him out real quick, but they come in with big sticks in their backpacks and things. And you know right away, we just have to get them out as quickly as we can. We've never had any personal injury or anything like that happen to any staff. My skin's a bit thicker than most. I'm like right in their face. You're going to have to leave. I have nothing for you. Thank you very much. Go. But I shouldn't have to be faced with this constant theft.
And don't you, I would feel nervous about it, like unsafe, I guess.
I'm not, because it's sort of, as it escalates from 0 to 100, you grow with it, and it just gets a little bit worse every day. And now it's not great. And I fear for the fact that a lot of my colleagues that had mom and pop cooking stores or culinary shops, they're gone, Carole. They're gone to never come back again. And because of that, we're seeing more and more papered windows. I was at a wedding in Cabo on the weekend, and as I was driving home last night, I noticed that all the way coming down South Granville and then onto Seymour Street, I counted 12 papered buildings. And that is the story that the government isn't looking at. Those papered buildings represent jobs, but more importantly to our government, that represents tax dollars paid. Not only just in taxes as in land taxes and property taxes, that's taxes in goods sold that they're not getting. So take all of those away, and pretty soon it's going to be a papered up city, and we're going to look like Portland where no one goes downtown.
Have you had a chance to say this to the Premier?
I did a bit of a shout out to him on Mike Smith, and I would love a sit down, because there is policy they can change. And if they don't change soon, they will be unable to roll that story backwards. The policy has to be, they're a day late and a dollar short on this. It is just so wildly unacceptable. I mean, we grew up with law and rules and punishment. In what world are you allowed to steal openly with no punishment? But, oh, wait, I got that. I can get more next time. When you have people that have got 20 and 30 convictions and they're still out, I'm passionate about this. It's something that I built from nothing. It wasn't a hand-me-down. I grew this business from 0 to 1,000, and it took me many years.
We're going to take a short break.
Okay.
And we'll continue this discussion
Valium.
and talk about the fact that it's not just on Hastings Street. It's all over Vancouver and all over BC. Back in a moment. We're talking about retail crime, and it's not a victimless crime. It has all kinds of complications to it. Do you feel that the police are there when you need them?
I love the police. They're my friend, but they are understaffed. And when we call, a retail theft isn't really a 911. They've got bigger fish to fry all over the city. So they might come, they might not. It's not a life and death situation. It is just a retail crime. So often they don't come. And I can't blame them for that, because they have so many more things that are bigger. So we don't call. And then I'm sort of scolded because, well, if you don't call, we can't fix. If you can't fix what you don't know now and you need phone calls to get stats, oh my God, give your head a shake out there, EB. Just give it a big shake.
Well, I'm always dismayed when I hear them, not police, but these various surveys saying, oh, reported crime is down.
Of course.
Reported crime is down.
There you go.
That's not crime is down.
No, it's not. And it's sad because they're taxed to the limit and they can't come. I love it when they walk in. Sometimes they come in and get things or whatever, and I'm like, could you just hang out for a couple days?
Do my cooking class.
Yeah, come on, you can come in. I'll your free cooking classes, everything. All you boys in uniform, you get 10% off any day of the week you come in. Just come in more often.
You know, it's not just your neighborhood either. I mean,
No.
You're on the edge of the downtown east side. But I think it was this weekend, there was a big report on the news that Shoppers Drug up on Cambie had this sort of situation, you know,
Yes.
sort of crash, grab, whatever. And London Drugs, I know, has complained about the problem for years.
I know.
So it's big guys, little guys.
Huge. London Drugs is huge. I mean, Clint is a friend of mine. I am on their a mouthpiece board, I guess, because it's easier for everybody to understand that part. Because when you say a nice word, it's called SOS, Save Our Streets, and so we are forming this big sort of conglomerate of people that are interested in saving our streets. So we've got Stowe, and we've got a lot of people that are really charging that. But if it falls on deaf ears, you can have millions of people chatting, but it needs action.
And so what action do you think would help?
First of all, they need to spend, is the spend something outrageous, like $1 million a day down on the downtown east side for the SROs for everything? It's something so crazy. So take even a portion of that money and rebuild Riverview. And that way, the really challenged addictions and mental health situations can be funneled there to hopefully get them in control, get their life back together. And try that instead of just putting good money after bad. Isn't there a saying that doing the same thing over and over is insanity? Wasn't that Einstein? Keep doing it over and over and expecting a change? How do you not figure that out? And your politics in this province has done nothing. How can you be proud of that track record? You're to serve the people. You, the people, for the people, of the people. Do something. Don't just sit there in your golden chalice chair, spending money that we don't have on things we don't need. Sorry.
But it's exactly right. It's exactly right. And with Riverview as an example, John Horgan, when he was premier, brought in legislation that was going to say we're going to have some secured care, involuntary care.
Thank you.
And then the Greens didn't support it, so that's why they had that relationship. So then he called an election. I thought, well, now he's got a big majority. Yes. It was never mentioned again. And the next time I heard it mentioned was when Eby was running for the leadership of the NDP, and he said something about involuntary care. And I went, finally, yes. Right? And then he moved into the premier's chair, and it's done nothing. So now in this last election, it was sort of quietly talked about, but he's maybe going to be depending on the Greens again. Does this mean this hole goes away, and we still get no secured care?
It's a 4-year hellhole for us again. Retail just falls by the by. I think you should do a tally on the papered buildings and month by month add them up. Maybe that's a wake-up call. Maybe look at that. Crunch the numbers and see what tax losses you're getting out of that, because I know my taxes are massive. And here's another little snippet, and this is ridiculous. So I got a letter from the city of Vancouver, and you'll appreciate this because you like to cook. And it said, cease and desist selling creme brulee torches. I'm like, what does that mean? Cease and desist selling. You are no longer in the city of Vancouver allowed to sell a creme brulee torch, or you will be fined up to $5,000 or something crazy like that.
And we have to explain the torch is like a little...
It's this big, and the flame shoots out, and it's meant to caramelize the sugar on top of your brulee or your meringue on your lemon pie or whatever. It is not meant to burn a house down. It is little, and it runs on about that much butane. So I get people that come in, having a dinner party, need a torch. Oh, we can't sell it to you. Oh, why? You can buy it in Burnaby, you can't buy it in Vancouver.
Really?
Yeah. Tell me this. It's this insanity that possesses people so what is going to happen if I sell that? Well, first of all, they're locked up. You can't just take it. So they're locked up, the butane's locked up. So I'm really going to hand that over to a homeless guy that thinks I'm going to tell you something very funny. Way back when I first started in I'm so embarrassed for myself. And so, how come, I said, we're short on a few creme brulee torches. And he said, they're getting stolen every day. I said, they make that much creme brulee? I'm like, okay, dummy. No, there's no creme brulee being made here. But we lock them up, but we're still not allowed to sell them. Even if you walk in legitimately saying, I'm having a dinner party and I want to, make a lemon meringue pie and I want to, brown the tops. No, can't sell it.
Well, of course, regulations and government policy affect you in all sorts of ways, not just the crime that's happening, but can you tell me what the situation with gas is? Are you able to, in your cooking classes, still use gas?
Cooking school, no gas.
No gas.
No gas. And at home I do, and I'll go on fire for protecting that stove.
And so the council, I understood, said, okay, at home you can have it. And then they said, oh no, we'll phase it all out. And then they came back again and said, oh no, we're reverting to the previous policy. So I think a lot of people are in my situation going, I don't know what the rule is, but I didn't know about creme brulee torches.
I just found that out a couple months ago. And I'm a bit of a wild card, as you can tell. And I just said to my staff, just sell them anyways. You can certainly tell the people that want them are the normal people. No, you can sell it. We don't want to get in trouble.
To be continued. So tell me, Caren, how close, honestly, are you to giving up?
I will tell you honestly, had my daughter not given me 11 years after university of working there and showing me that she wants to take over, I would have sold 2 years ago. I would be gone. And that's the truth. It's just way, way, way too much. She's young. She's still full of fire and energy and ideas, and she's not been deflated yet because it's just that age. You get after you're beaten down so many times, that's when you start to give up. And when the juice ain't worth the squeeze, see ya.
And so will you participate because you're the mother still?
Yes,
sort of
I will. I will always sort of have my fingers in the pie because I was a bit of a frugal spender. That's how we grow. You don't grow, spending like a drunk sailor. You grow by being frugal, have good fiscal responsibility in your spending so that the bank doesn't own you, you own you. So just those little things. But I love when people come in and I love to talk to them and they want to talk to me. They want to tell me their stories. And all in December, I'm there every day talking to people. I'm on the floor. I'm not in the office. So in my heart of hearts, I love it because I built it. It came from like that much. I mean, I started with 6 students in 1978 in my little house on East Georgia Street in Vancouver, fresh out of Le Cordon Bleu. And now I probably have taught 200,000 people how to cook.
And she has helped all of us and written 7 cookbooks. If you're looking for Christmas ideas, I don't know, that's a good one.
It's good.
Thank
We've
you,
got it
Caren.
full. Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure to be with you. You're just amazing. You're my hero.
Thank you. Back in a moment. The data on retail crime is bad, and it's probably underreported. Of the businesses recently surveyed, almost half don't even bother reporting the crime to police. The reasons given for not reporting, feeling that maybe it won't make any difference anyway, or it's too time-consuming. What can be done about this assault on retail business? What should be done? Let me know your thoughts on YouTube. Till next time, I'm Carole Taylor.